Okay, welcome back. Uploaded the vlog today. You've seen, see if we can there we go. You've seen what we've done so far today. The shed is still very much chaotic, messy, scruffy. Can't find nothing. Don't know where anything is. Don't really care at this point. But we've had some ideas. We've had a lot of ideas. I've been watching some YouTubers, and one particular bloke, Colin Firth, I think his name is, building an underground tunnel in his back garden. Now, how I'd love to do that. Now, there's a thought. Excuse me. I've looked at what he's done in his shed, and it's actually way smaller than mine, and he's got way more stuff in there than mine, more useful than mine because he's laid it out properly. So that got me thinking, and this is what I came up with. About lining this wall, and I asked you guys, no one at the moment has replied to it, what's the best product that you think I could put over this. I think what I'm going to do, if I've got enough of it, I've got a sheet of fiberglass left that I do not need, so I think I'm just going to put a load of this behind the wall. I've got a little bit of that left over, so I think I might just put that against the wall and then put a piece of fiberglass, or as much as I can get to fit. But when we come onto this one, I think we're just going to get standard hardboard. So we'll put loft insulation behind it, polyester specifically, and then we'll just nail that stuff up, and then we'll get the spray gun out, and we'll literally get some household paint and just over the top of the whole thing. Once that's been done, we'll reinstate the shelves because we need that, and I'll explain why. We are going to move the shaping machine, that thing, there. We are going to move the surface grinder, which has got a pillar drill bolted to it that don't work, over there. We're going to move all of that out of the way and shove that down the bottom. They're coming down and getting smashed up. That's coming out and is going to get moved down there. Once this stuff has been moved here, that will give me space, and I can put a chop saw there with the table. The doorway, we spoke about that. I'm going to use that piece of ply and some wood, and I'm going to put that across there 4 foot wide to there, and I'll get another piece of that and make a door that slides. This side, however, will have a swing out door, because if I'm cutting wood or metal or anything else on the chop saw, I need that extra length, because I've got right up to there, nearly 10 foot almost. So that needs to swing out, so that's what we plan to do with that. But for everyday use, that will come across to get latched top and bottom, sliding door there, because this bench is going over here. That's going, that's going. I'm going to chuck a couple of windows in the walls. We'll push the bench right up against that bench, so we've got like a big corner area. Pillar drill, pedestal, it's going to go up here as well. So all my machinery is going in here. I'm putting my loud compressor underneath there. My silent run compressor is also going to go in here somewhere. I'm not sure where yet. Probably over there, maybe, I don't know, with a shelf above it. And then if we do the shelf, this sandblasting cabinet will go over here. Because we've got a machine that sparks, I'm not so sure the parts washer is a good idea over there, so that could find its way over there out of the way, because I tend to use diesel in mine, which is not a good idea because it kills rubber seals miserably. If you remember, I brought back a tray from a fire appliance a few months ago. I think I'll show it to you. There you go. It's aluminium, it's quite long, and I think there's at least another 2 more down there, possibly 3. I'm hoping there's 3. I'm going to make myself one of these, but a longer one, on wheels, with a very thick bench top to it as well, and maybe a couple of smaller drawers made of wood, so we can put spanners in there, because we can then wheel that around the shed. It will be like an island in the kitchen. We can move it around. All my regular use tools will be in it, because this floor is so wonky and on hills. That thing is so unstable. All it wants to do is fall over. It's a nuisance. Today, which is a new day, we're going to pull this little old trailer out, which you can see here. It was originally a tow and dolly, which I've been hacked up and played around with. Excuse me. And we're going to turn this into a motorcycle trailer, I think. Only problem is all the metal that's on it is super heavy duty, and I'm a little low on discs. We're also going to go and pay for this bike, so it's ready to drag back. And at some point we need to clear this all out because I need free access down here. You can see the state of that side of that shed. I didn't really know what to do with it because that wall's got to come out, and well, we'll just deal with that felt at a later date. I've had enough of that roof for 1 week. So, good evening. Just thought I'd let you know the motorcycle has been paid for, and we have got some steel set aside for the bike trailer, and I have 4 trays plus 2 came out of a fire appliance. So I'm eating at the same time. As you didn't know, it's Christmas come. Mince pies. Anyway, got 2 of these. These are going to be the top trays for all my heavy duty spanners. Eventually they'll be on runners or rails. And I have these 4 here. What I haven't made my mind up about is whether to make one big long whopping grate, like 2 tiers each side, or put those 2 above those 4, sorry, and build one large cabinet that's about that sort of size. I'd probably be wise to do it that way. All my electricals are going to go in those ones. That will alleviate a lot of shelving. And I've got some very large spanners that I need to find a home for, so that will come in handy for those and any other equipment, and I can section them off because you've got holes, so I can easily pop rivet some aluminium shelf dividers. There's loads where that come from. There's more of them, so if I need any more I can add more to them if I need to. I want this, and I tell you, it's a bit of a contraption. I've triangulated under the axle, but I put a little bit too much area at the back, which is why I walloped this as far forward as I could get it. We need the engine, whatever bike we buy, we need the engine in the middle. This weird looking contraption here is the seat strap. Now most motorcycle trailers don't actually have them, but I remember owning a adapter that goes on the back of a tow hitch, and it actually had something similar to this, and the idea is that sits on the seat, and then you run a ratchet strap straight over the top down to the tie points, and that stops the bike from falling. It's just that extra bit of security. Yeah, it looks as dippy as it comes, but hey, if it works and you can adjust it, it's actually a dolly wheel unit, so if it works then great. And we've got it locked in down here. Well, I'm pleased with this idea because we have a normal stainless steel lever, but to lock the bolt in place, we'll put a nut on the end there with another lever on, so we can lock that in. And as you can see, that all moves, and yeah, brilliant ramp. I was going to cut it down the middle and make it as wide as that, but it's getting late, I'm making a lot of noise, and I just thought, sod it, I'll see how that works out tomorrow. So I welded 2 halves together because all I had left, with an angle iron lip to hook it up. That'll go in the boot along with that bit there. We've got angle iron at the bottom here, that's for the toe board to go on, and we've got some sports wheels going on this, which have got a little extra width on them. They're Ford wheels, TRT RS or something, rally well, I don't know what the hell they are, but we've got them all the same. And we've bought some new wheel nuts, so they should go on better than the ones that are on there before. We've also put a piece of angle at the front. That's just a front wheel stopper, and we'll run some rope round that just to keep the front wheel in position. Other than that, there's not a lot to it. Some tie downs for the ratchet straps. We've got one there, we've got one there. We've got 2 on the back which will get cut off at a later date. And that is pretty much, we've got 2 points as well for that to go on depending on the size of the bike, but that is pretty much it. There's 2 more ramps to go on here at a later date, but not yet. That's why I want to take those off, because I want 2 ramps this side and that side, and then I'm going to fill in all the areas with some aluminium, because there's a box going on the back as well, so we can put our rubbish in and collect engines and stuff. but I'm a little concerned because my axles are there, and I went and give myself all that extra overhang, and that's totally unnecessary. It's only a single wheel. Oh, God, I should have made that tow bar longer and cut this back end down, is what I should have done. But we'll see how it performs. If it doesn't perform very well, we'll add another set of triangulations and we'll extend that right out further, and then when we do the toe box, we'll take it right out to that point there and in. So we've got this whole area as a capacity. We do have another axle, but I've got some plans going on with that very soon. As my trailer worked well, but we've just got two faults to sort out, and that is those blocks there. They caused, when the arm went in, that caused the bike to lean right over, which was not how I had this planned. So I'm going to put another 2 more blocks this side, but I'll run them on that bit there, and then the next bike that goes on will be dead straight. And I could do with more length as well, more length on the drawbar. Other than that, it's great. Here it is. If you was expecting something really super cool, all I can show you is super cool rust. And it's everywhere on it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this at the moment. I just saw it, decided that one way or the other it had potential, either as spare parts to be sold on or full restoration. I'd like to give it a rest though. Here, so it's going to be difficult to film. I think I need to get another fluorescent, because those things are pants, but I can't remember what fluorescent I need for it. Anyway, we've got small 1-inch angle iron on the sides. We've got some, well, I don't know what that is, 1.5 inches I suppose, 2mm thick around the outside edges. I've got to cut a couple of bits to go down the middle as a back support. There's another one to go down there as well, because those alley drawers over there are smaller than these top drawers. So there's going to be a little cupboard built on the side with some shelves. What I'm doing at the moment is I've measured off there, and these are the original sliders from a fire appliance on a different type of drawer system, and I've got quite a few of these, but I haven't got enough to do all of those bottom ones. So I'm going to use these 2 plus another 2 for these top drawers, and then I will go down to B&Q, Wicks, wherever, whichever is the cheapest, and get some standard drawer sliders to go on the bottom ones, and hope that they can take the capacity of the heavy stuff that I'm planning to put in at this point in time. I couldn't tell you because I just don't know. If they break, then we'll have to go back and we'll have to get some of those. What I could do, just to help with the load though, is there is enough sliders to put one each side, on one side, sorry, and then we put the weaker ones on the other, which will save me some money, but it'll also spread the load out. So we can always put the heavy stuff at the end, which has got the better quality sliders. Okay, first drawer is in. My measurements were pretty good, because it was actually a tight fit. Originally, I had it planned so as I could put washers behind each and every one of these, but as you can see, I didn't need them in the end. However, I'm not sure what's going on. I know I've lost my square a little bit here, and I can't get it back, but it does keep jamming up. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's, I think the bearings are a bit stiff, because it should go in better than that. They definitely went in better on the original drawers, but they were a lot heavier than this. I suppose when I start putting tools in, that should really help. So yeah, another Chrissy cross piece go here, or gusset, call it what you like. We'll weld that one in properly, get that nice and tight. We'll finish the weld over there, grind the welds down to the flat, and I'm probably going to put a bar across there in the form of angle. Don't really want to, but we're putting spanners in top shelf anyway. And this is how far it come out, right out, which is really handy. I have some wheels on order tomorrow, 6 of them. See what I mean, jamming? Oh, what's causing it? We'll fine tune that tomorrow, but I do know I'm out a little bit on one of the corners, which is possibly what's causing the problem. Because if I do this down here, now you can see that's flush. As we get up there, we're about 3.5–4 mil out. It's a nuisance. This is meant to go in like that, so we can put some doors on this after. second drawer goes in tomorrow, and then after that I'm going to run a brace across the underside out of angle, or possibly even box, to be honest. I don't know yet which. And then we're going to literally take 2 pieces of bar that way and try and stop this thing from moving around, because what I've discovered is this stuff, this angle, it's the wrong material for this job. It's got too much flex in it. It's driving me up the wall. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We'll get that second one fitted. After that, gets a little bit more trickier, because I've only got what we got. Well, we literally got, I think that is one more slider there, one slider there. So we've got a slider there, we've got that one down there, which will do that top one. Then we're left with just literally 2 more. So I don't actually know what to do about that at the moment. Okay, good morning. It's a cold morning this morning. Anyway, I came out here last night. I wasn't very satisfied with this, to be honest. It was just jamming up, weren't it, if you remember? So there you go. It's doing what it's meant to do. The only thing I'm not happy with is I had a little issue with this as well. Again, it was sticking. I thought maybe the alignment's out, but it isn't. It was the actual drawer runners themselves keep getting mucked up. That's the only problem. I've dropped that one down, so now they are equal. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with this. Yeah, I'm very pleased with this. So that's 2 drawers in. They were the only 2 of that length I could find, so I did think about getting another 2 more and wrapping them underneath, but the problem with that is you don't have a lot of storage space in them. So those 2 top drawers are going to be for sockets and spanners and whatnot that are loose. The beauty is you've got a pegboard inside here as well, so I can run nuts and bolts through and make little, section it all off. I mean, this is just absolutely brilliant for what it is. Not bad for a home build. Now, station. And we've got these instead. Now, I was going to get the ball bearing ones, but they're just flimsy, and there's no proper way of putting them on. I mean, if it was a wooden wall, they'd work well on there and I could just run screws through. But the problem I've had in the past with those, trying to run nuts and bolts, they jam up, they're flimsy. These are not that much better, but they glide well. Yeah, I think they'll work. I'm a bit concerned about that plastic breaking, but having said that, we can always get, at a later date, we can always replace those with proper roller bearings. I'm sure I can find some roller bearings that are the same sort of diameter, and we can run a nut and bolt through there. As long as I keep that area clear, we could maybe cut them off and replace them with the proper thing. These will be, that rail there will be bolted to the bottom of that with rivets, and this rail, well, we'll put some angle iron like I've done here along that side, but we'll turn it if we can, and we'll fix that piece with rivets to that. I don't think the rivets will get in the way. I mean it could, but I don't know. Until I actually try it, I don't know. There's not a lot of clearance there, but it does bend it in, so we might get away with it. What we can do, if we do rivets or bolts even, we could make the hole bigger and then ram it in with the gun, and then it might make its own impression for the countersink to sit. I mean, that's a possibility. It's worth exploring. The only other way of doing it is to clean the steel up and then spot weld each one, and then very carefully with the grinder get the grinder in there to smooth it out. But I can't help feeling that might put a lot of weak spots more than anything in that area. Okay, that drawer was a right pain in the butt, but it's there. Means I can take the drawer out if I need to and use it elsewhere if I need to carry it to a car because I can't get the whole thing there. Then I can take it, you know what I'm saying. So the next thing to do, and this is tomorrow, not today, is we've now got to build that brace to go across there, and then we can come down, because now I know where I'm going with this, you see. I can weld onto that, which will leave me with a little gap at the edge. Now I am now thinking to myself, why on earth didn't I just centre these? I didn't realise how less space I'd have. I might put the door on the end instead. So we'll alley this big piece off here, and then we'll just literally have a door there and swing it out or something. Haven't really figured it all out yet, but that's where my thoughts are going with it, because it's just too small to do anything with. So first one's in. I'm going to build the sides up a little bit higher on that one. I'm going to put new fronts on eventually, I just don't know when. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do the woodwork side of it. I don't really know much about anything, but what I will do is we'll continue getting the rest of these fitted. They're not easy. New day. I've got 2 in so far. I'm about to put the 3rd one in. What I've done is, in order to get a decent gap between the two, we've stuffed angle iron and a piece of flat alley just to give it a little bit more height. Excuse me. I will then get a piece of angle, run that across there, weld this to the angle, grind all the welds back so they're nice and smooth, and then we'll literally put it in, but we lift to take the pressure off so the rollers are sitting on the top, sitting on the bottom, and then when you drop these out it will just sit there and float absolutely beautifully. And as you can see on the bottom one, as you saw earlier, it works. However, I've stumbled upon a problem which is really annoying me, and that's this bar here. I put that in, I thought it'd be nice to frame that off. Problem is I don't have enough room, I don't think at the moment, to get the last one in without hitting that. Also, after I thought this all out, I thought, actually thinking about it, this might be more of a hindrance, because I've got stuff in here and it's all jammed up, hits that, like we get with the toolboxes, you can't get the blasted drawers open. It's a right nightmare, because you can't get to them from the back. So I might cut that out, because we've already got supports on this bar here anyway. I don't necessarily need it. And here, I was originally going to put a cupboard in. I changed my mind about that. I am going to put a plate over that, grind it all flat, put a plate over it. And I'm going to put a series of sockets on the side. I'm going to put 2 normal 3 pins, 240, 13 amp, and I'm going to put the higher blue ones on there, and I'm going to run a real heavy duty extension off the back, which can be plugged into the welder port that I've got over there. Which means if I'm using the bench, then I can plug in whatever I want to. So if I'm doing some TIG welding, as yet to learn, we'll have a surface that we can do something with, and we're going to put wood on top. I've got the planks in the house drying out, to the disgust of my wife, can't say I blame her, but I can't put them on while they're wet, because they'll shrink in the summer and leave blooming great gaps. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the wood on, glue it together as best as possible, put 2 bolts in each piece, because I'm worried about cupping. Might even cut them down the middle and then turn them over alternatively. And then I've got some aluminium sitting down the side of the house, and I'll lay a couple of alley sheets over the top and screw those down with countersinks and all the rest of it. And we've got a vise that's going to go there as well. I think I've made a mistake on the wheels. I don't think they're going to be suitable for this workshop. I'm going to put them on anyway, because I do need to move it, but I think they are going to be a load of rubbish. I need to get some proper ball bearing wheels for this, I think. But they need to have brakes on them, that's the problem. Son says he's going to have a look at work. He says there's some trolleys that are being thrown out or something, he was saying, and they might have some heavy duty wheels on there. I need something about 150 mil at the rate I'm going. This is already heavy, it's already too heavy to lift. Cool. All the drawers are in. Not the greatest of runners, but everything's working. The bottom one's a bit stiff. That one's the worst. And we lost a bit of angle on that. I don't know what went wrong. I think the angle arm went in on a wonk. That doesn't appear to be affecting it, so in fact it runs better than the others, amazingly. The rest are a bit stiff. They do come out, but believe me, they're a nightmare to get back in. So tomorrow, because I'm tired, and if I continue, I'm going to start cutting corners, and I don't want to do that. It's gone really well, probably one of my best, well, not really one of my best, but because the welding's atrocious. Tomorrow I'll put the wheels on. We're going to use the small angle iron, and we're going to have a little overhang, just so this thing don't tip when we wheel it around. So we're going to give it a 1/4 foot overhang, what's that, 4 or 5 inches at the front, but we'll keep it dead straight at the back, because the small drawers don't go all the way to the back, so the centre of gravity is just slightly off, which will mimic the overhang at the front. The top ones, there's not a lot to do about it, but again, there is a little bit of play there. Once we've got that done, we'll try and skin that bit up with some stainless I got. We'll cut some alley, and we'll see if we can get that inserted into that side, and if we can get room around here, we'll see what we can come up with for the back. And I don't actually know at the moment what we got. I don't think we've got enough. I have got some of this perforated stuff out the front, but I went and driv over it, so I'd have to hammer it flat. I haven't been able to do much in the evenings due to noise levels. The wheels are on. I was really hoping to have this finished by the end of the day. I mean, it is only, was it 10 o'clock in the morning at the moment, and I've just done the wheels literally in that order. So please bear in mind that you may not see the end result, and I really want to put this up for a Christmas Day video, simply because the television is usually rubbish, and I know I've got a lot of loyal followers that would like to see this video in its entirety. Unfortunately, due to the lack of materials and the fact that Christmas Day is tomorrow, and I highly doubt anybody will sell me anything today, I think we're going to have to call it. And that is as far as I can take it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the paint on because we got the wrong paint. My wife bought me some paint today, and it was water-based, and as we all know, water-based paint in damp, horrible, wintry weather like this won't dry. Not a hope in hell. You need heat. So yeah, we're finished. I can't do any more, and I'm absolutely gutted for you guys, because I was really hoping to get this thing completed and put up as a finished piece of work. Alas, it is not. But don't worry, we will pick this up very briefly on another episode, but it will be just a finished clip and nothing more. So we've got that back to finish off, which is that wood there. We have put an alley skin this side, perforated, so we can put hooks and just randomly hang stuff like airline hoses and, you know, general stuff like that really. Ran out of aluminium. I had that, but there wasn't enough to do anything with, so I opted, reluctantly but with no regret, some scaffold boards for the sides. They're soaking wet, they're going to dry out, they're going to shrink, guarantee it. But what we'll do is we'll use those so we can screw stuff, and we can hang more stuff off of that, stuff that's a little bit more permanent. I've laid the leftover scaffold board on top, which is going to go in the bin anyway, and that's just a reference for the worktop that's going to be made. I have all the wood, and it's all inside the house, so just drying it out, because we don't want that shrinking, so that will have to stay there for another few more days, because some of it's still soaking wet. I want to sand it back, and I want to either paint it or varnish it or do something with it. I also want to put an angle iron frame going upwards, so as we've got a solid lip, so we can fill it in properly and screw it down, or whatever I decide to do really. And paint, it's the only other thing that's left to do. That drawer is a bit stiff, I can't suss out what's going on with that one, but the rest of them are doing exactly how I planned. As you can see, we will do a update on the review of that. I'm tired now and I just don't want to do any more, but that is worth coming back to, so the next episode I'll include that. I also said if I haven't put this up, that there'll be an update on the van, on the motorhome. Again, that will be the next one. There's some radical changes going on. I've had enough of the damn thing, but I'm not getting rid. I'm just making some alterations, and it's either going to work or it isn't. And if it doesn't, then we lose a certain key feature, and if it does work, then we've perfected it and everything is going to be good. So can't really say any more than that. It's getting disheartening building that thing, because it's just not going the way I wanted it to go, through lack of money more than anything. So there you go. So there is my tool cabinet. And I just can't get a good shot because there's nowhere to stand. So if I do that, there we go. Let's see if that works. And there she is. So we've got the latches to make, we've got the paint to put on, we've got some sockets to fit, we've got a lamp to go on at the back, which I haven't fitted yet because I haven't made the mechanism for it. But other than that, I mean, it's all fire engine or fire appliance, as they like to call them now. So yeah, not bad for a bit of old scrap, and it's been made out of scrap, the whole lot, all of it. Wood scrap, the angle was scrap, the drawers are all scrap, all the alley was scrap. The only thing I bought was the wheels. 75mm wheels, which were about £3 each, £4 each. So not bad going, hey. The idea of this is to alleviate some of these shelvings. There's a lot of stuff lying around in here, and I can get a lot of equipment in there, so I can lose some of these ready shelves. And this one particularly has got to come down because the wall's coming down, and a new one is being put up in the summer. So compressor over there will go in the other room, and then we'll try and concrete or floorboard, whichever comes first, and then we'll slide that in underneath there and get rid of those shelves completely. It's all getting exciting. So with that in mind, I want to wish you a very happy Christmas and a happy New Year, and I hope everything goes the way you're hoping this year. We've had our fair share of disasters ourselves, with 2 dogs passing away. Some of you, I'd imagine, have lost loved ones due to COVID, and it's going to be a pretty miserable time for some of you, but for the others, yeah, I hope everybody has a happy Christmas. That's pretty much where I'm at on this. So I'm going to disappear now and get myself cleaned up and call it a day. I've now got to go down the cemetery and put some wreaths down. Catch you on the next episode. Bye bye.